Hello, this is a video to talk about the new Magic for Mystics class. This is going to be the third time that this class is offered. And the first couple of times it was very successful. So we're hoping that this time we're going to even make some improvements on it. Before I get into the particulars of the class, I thought it might be a good idea to talk a little bit about what magic is and why it would be for mystics. The fact is, a lot of people tend to think about magic as just this kind of casting of spells or something like that. But in fact, if you're a person who's interested in mysticism, if you're interested in spiritual transformation, magic was the West's esoteric understanding of how to achieve that spiritual transformation. And it has a whole bunch of parallels with the paths of Buddhism, of Taoism, of yoga, and specifically the esoteric branches of the same. So that when you look at, for example, the Tibetan Tantra or Indian Tantra, Kundalini Yoga, Raja Yoga, Taoist alchemy, Qigong, all of these methods are basically just magic, the magic of the East. The practices that the Sufis made also. These were the techniques that are meant to create spiritual transformation in the person who practices them. And the practitioner can make change in the world at the same time. These are these rebel or radical practices that are a bit different from the more orthodox. And if you've ever had an interest in this idea that you personally can engage in a set of spiritual disciplines that will let you have a spiritual understanding, a perspective of what is real, to see these altered states of reality, of your perceptions of reality, and grow in your own personal awareness, to have a kind of alchemical transformation. And at the same time, to be able to apply these to making changes in your life, to transform yourself in your life, then magic could very much be for you. And in many ways, it'll be very approachable compared to these teachings that come from other cultural backgrounds. In the West, magic was understood to be not just the act of, making charms or putting hexes on people or things like that. That was what was thought of as low magic. And then there was also the high magic, theurgia, which in the olden days, in the time of the Romans and of the Greeks, it was known to be the spiritual discipline. It was what you did if you wanted to engage in this deeper awareness and this deeper perspective of reality. This was kind of lost to a certain extent with the collapse of the Roman Empire, but parts of it survived all through the Dark Ages and into the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. Back during the Roman Empire, it was understood. I mean, Pythagoras practiced it, the Neoplatonists, and all of the Hermetic tradition, the Corpus Hermeticum, came out of there. And you had magicians like Hermes Trismegistus and all the way to Apollonius of Tyana, who are these great spiritual teachers, these great masters that were promoting these disciplines and these exercises for people. And then after that, some of it survived in the Catholic Church, some of it survived in astrology, which kept some of the symbols there. You had the symbols that remained in alchemy, in Western alchemy. You had groups like the Freemasons, the Rosicrucians, and later more modern groups like in neo-paganism and Wicca that use some of the symbols and some of the elements. But what makes this class in particular so useful is that what you see today, of course, is a whole bunch of books on how to practice magic. And yet, most of these books don't really do a good job of either emphasizing that spiritual discipline of magic or of giving you the fundamental exercises, the fundamental practices. The way I've seen a lot of these books go, and these other, even some other courses, is that they'll show you these rituals. And so you go and you do these magical rituals, not necessarily knowing what they mean, or maybe you have an idea what they're supposed to mean, but you try it and nothing happens, and so you decide that magic doesn't work and give up on the whole thing. But the reason that they don't work is that that's like trying to jump forward into a test before you've done the ABCs, you know. There are a series of basic exercises that are meant to train the discipline of yourself and your perceptions, how you control your body, how you control your senses, and how well you are able to concentrate your will. And if you do these basic exercises, then when you get to doing more complex operations, you'll see that there's a tremendous difference in the effect. So Magick for Mystics consists of 15 units, 15 classes you could say, that are sent one at a time. You study the unit and there are exercises. It's not like in some other courses like this where you'll be asked to do a test where you just have to copy stuff from the paper or something like that. Instead, you actually go and you practice these things. You practice these exercises, and it's not about passing or failing. You write back to me with your experiences of trying the exercises, and I give you my feedback, and we continue until we both feel that you're ready to move on to the next unit. And in total, the course, usually our experience has been that it's taken from about 3 to 6 months to complete, because you can do it at your own pace. Some people might want to do it really fast and try to get through all of the classes really quickly if they're eager beavers. And others might have very busy schedules, and if you do, that's not a problem, because you can take each unit at its own time and at its own pace. And what makes the course very worthwhile is that in each unit, you end up getting personal interaction, feedback, any questions you have, anything you want to elaborate. And the units begin with these most basic practices, right? You learn about the elements, and you learn about the basic laws of magic, if you will. You receive a translation of the Emerald Tablet, and then after that you start the exercises. And the exercises involve focusing the body. They're exercises for concentrating the mind, controlling the breath, and then you get into these very basic rituals. You learn about solar adorations and how to do those correctly. You learn about the banishing rituals, how to vibrate, like mantra vibration. You learn about how to project your energy and how to take on God forms. And then the banishing ritual, which is the most basic, simple circle ritual that there is in magic. And then in the last part of the last section with the last 3 units, you learn the more complex operations you can do, which are invocation, evocation, and pathworking. And by the end of this course, you're not going to be a fully blown, magician, but you will have all the fundamental basics that you need from then on to be able to actually study this and practice it on a daily basis if you so choose, and to gain from there with much more understanding than you could have been able to otherwise. Now we're going to be doing things a little bit different in this course also, in that I'm going to set up a Facebook group, which is going to be a closed and private Facebook group, only for those who join Magick for Mystics. And this group will be a discussion group where there will be extra additional material presented, where people can talk about their experiences at the different steps, where there will be links and documents shown and shared for people to continue to study more profoundly on the subject of magic. And this will continue with each subsequent class. So after you're done the whole course, you'll still be a part of this group, if you so choose, to be able to work and continue practicing and studying your magic. So the class the course costs $75, which is payable via PayPal. If you're interested in participating, and I don't think you'd be disappointed if you've been looking to learn magic, this is the way to do it. Just send me a message or add me as a friend on Facebook, and we can go from there. I hope to hear from you soon.